Hi everyone, so today I'll be going over my empties for the month of June. Like always, I'll have these separated into categories in case you're only interested in certain items. I'll start off with skincare. Shockingly, this month I don't have any sheet masks. While I am using them, I'm trying out this new kind of packaging for one of them. Instead of them being individually wrapped, kind of like a single use packaging style. They are in like a Ziploc bag type style, and there's 10 of them. So once I'm done with those like 10 or 15, how much are in there, I will show you that. But yes, none for this month. Going on to a freebie sachet that I think I got from my sister. It's from the brand Skin 1004. Their Madagascar Centella Tone Brightening Tone Up Sunscreen, SPF 50 plus, PA 4 pluses. So every time I read tone up or anything like that, I think, oh, this is going to have some type of like foundation, pigment. And yeah, this is kind of like a BB cream almost. And even though the color did look pretty, I would say like tan-ish, it left a horrible white cast on me. So maybe if I wore makeup, I could have blended it better into my skin, or maybe it wasn't my shade. But yeah, I hate sunscreens with any form of like pigment in them because I can't really work around that. It did feel like my face was more matte, I guess, less dewy, kind of shiny, sweaty looking. That's normally how my sunscreens leave my face, and I much prefer that feel than to feel a bit dry. So yeah, wouldn't recommend this, wouldn't purchase it in a full size. All right, and then so the next product is one that my sister gave me because I told her that I was running low on face creams, and she let me have her Bioma. This is the moisturizing rich cream. This has bakuchiol and shea extract. So I thought that this was a pretty good face cream. I mean, the texture was on the thicker side, so it wasn't runny like a lotion. The cream, while it was thicker, I felt like it wasn't too hydrating. It wasn't too occlusive. It was just okay. I feel like it didn't really do much for my skin. And during the Prime Day, because that just happened, my all-time favorite face cream went on sale. So I asked my sister to give me two of those. And yeah, so I am set. I don't have to worry about buying it overseas or online or anything. So this one, wouldn't repurchase it one and done, but I think my sister likes that one a lot more than I did. Next empty is another skincare product. I finished up a sunscreen. This is from the brand Skin 1004 from their Madagascar Centella line. So this is the, what is it called? Hylucica Water Fit Sun Serum, SPF 50 plus, PA 4 pluses. So I believe that this is either a full chemical sunscreen or it's like a hybrid sunscreen. Ooh, fun fact, if you're not aware, the FDA just approved a new sunscreen filter. I'm so pumped for it. But this one does not have that filter. I believe that the one that was the one that was approved Tinosorb S. I believe this one might have Tinosorb M. I know for sure this one has Uvinol A. I'm getting a little bit off track, but this one does not have the new approved in the US UV filter. So anyways, this one I will not be able to purchase it online because obviously the UV filters aren't approved, but I love how this leaves my skin. It tends to leave it a little bit more dewy looking. There's no white cast. It goes well with my toner and serum. In the summer, I don't use a face cream or face lotion before I put on my sunblock. I jump straight from serum to sunscreen, and I feel like that's okay. I have two more of these, so I did repurchase them. So I don't need another one, but this is one that I would get if the price was right and I finished up my other two. All right, so I think that is it for face or like skincare. Going on to body care, I do have some honorable empties from my sister. All right, so she finished up two Halls shower steamer packets. The first one is her favorite honey lemon. So I believe this might come in a pack of 6 or so. So the reason why she keeps buying them is because she keeps finding them on sale for $3. The retail price is normally $5.99, but I mean for $3 and you get a lot. Actually, how many do you get? I always overlook this. All right, I can't see how many come in here, but I think it's more than 4 and less than 10. So this is her favorite scent out of the 3 that they have that she has tried out. This is, again, a subtle scent. It's not going to fill your whole entire bathroom. It's just going to add extra fragrance to the shower. This one, she does not use it with her like soap saver that she also uses as a shower steamer saver. So she puts this directly on the floor because it's very chunky and it takes the entire shower in order for it to dissolve. If she put it in the saver, it would take maybe like 2 showers or something to finish up. So there is that one. But let me show you the variety pack that she found after she purchased that one. So this one, it has 3 scents. It has the honey lemon that I showed you. It has cherry, and then it has mentholyptus. So I'm guessing menthol eucalyptus type thing. Surprisingly, I thought that the menthol eucalyptus one was going to be the strongest, but no. Speaking of which, during Amazon Prime Day or days, because there were several days, I ended up purchasing, or my sister ended up purchasing some shower steamers from a small business that they have their own online website, have an Etsy, and they sell on Amazon. But we got Cold Kicker, and those perform beautifully, at least the first time that I tried them. So yeah, that one blows this menthol eucalyptus like away. And yeah, it was just kind of a little bit disappointing because I felt like even the eucalyptus spearmint Bath and Body Works shower steamers perform better than this does. 10 pack, and the reason why she picked this up is because it was on sale for $3. This is for sure a pack of 10, and the normal retail price, I think you can kind of see it's $7.99. So again, if it's cheap enough, she'll buy it. If it's like full retail price, she doesn't have any, she'll skip out on it. Another honorary empty that my sister finished up was this Tree Hut scrub. Oh, okay. So this is from 2024. She does put her labels because it's hard for her to see the like numbers at the bottom. So this one, I believe we got it from TJ Maxx or Marshalls. Okay, TJ Maxx, $5.99. So this is an older scrub. And also now the Tree Hut scrubs cost, I believe, $6.99. I think they're $7.99 if you find them at Ross. This was in mocha and coffee bean. So according to my sister, she much prefers iced coffee, which I think is still a discontinued scent. I remember that we got some at Target like several years ago before we weren't purchasing at Target. And this one, I mainly just get a mocha scent and maybe some straight coffee. Let me like refresh my mind. Yeah, it's almost like reused coffee beans, or like when you keep instead of replacing the coffee bean, keep just adding water and it's a little bit bitter. That's what it reminds me of. So I have one that I need to use up, but I don't think I would repurchase it. I think I just got it because I thought it was, oh cool, a coffee scent, and it was still, you know, relatively inexpensive. So this one wouldn't repurchase. I don't believe my sister would repurchase this either, but I think now she finds Tree Hut scrubs on a good sale, she will get maybe one. All right, I think that is it for my sister's items. Let's move on to my items. So this is a very old Onyx bathhouse scrub. I don't know why I blanked out for a minute. So this is in the scent Sweet Sugar. This is Sweet Sugar with honey extract. So this, I think, was mismarked or someone returned it after a few years. This one was $3.99. This is a foaming body scrub. And what I noticed is that before they completely stopped carrying Onyx Bathhouse products at the TJX stores, the formula ended up changing where it was a little bit more goopy in a way that it's slimy almost, and it wouldn't foam up as well as this older one would. So I have a lot of the newer ones, which I'm a little bit disappointed because I should have tried them out because I like the thicker, more sudsy, foamy one, which was this one. The only thing is that this is very thick, so you should be careful if you have sensitive skin because it almost acts like a soap that's exfoliating. Think Lush's scrubby bar, for example. So this one, I would repurchase it, but I know that they no longer have this scent. They don't carry it at TJX stores. And I think they might have this at Dollar Tree, but I have a feeling it's the new formula. But yeah, this one smelled good. It was just like artificial sweetness. not upset at that at all. Oh man, one product that I really loathe, despise almost. This would probably make my like worst body care products of 2026 that I finished up. That is this Trader Joe's pumpkin body butter. This one, I think I got it at the time for either $5.99 or $6.99. And I thought, oh, cool. I really like their pumpkin body scrub. Let me go ahead and get a matching body butter. No, the scents are completely different. This is more of a fresh, raw pumpkin scent. Yeah, fresh, raw pumpkin scent. Very subtle sweetness. You don't get like the kind of dirt quality that you get from picking up a fresh pumpkin out of the pumpkin patch. But man, I struggled so hard to use this because I don't know about anyone else, but my skin texture, it doesn't absorb a lot, or just my skin in general, it doesn't absorb a lot of like body serums, body creams, body oils. I I just need a little bit and I feel like I'm set. So with this product, it was almost like a paste, like putting on basically like white face paint on my skin. And I would really have to like rub it in circles, like wait a few minutes or so. It was kind of like those situations where you're just kind of like stretching your arms out into a mid-freeze jumping jack. So yeah, this thing didn't absorb into my skin, took forever to finish up. I mean, I guess it's accurate. It is a pumpkin body butter. I mean, it didn't lie to me and say it was going to be like sweet pumpkin pie filling or anything. Yeah, I just didn't like the texture. It was very thick. I didn't feel like it was hydrating, even though it was thick and I really rubbed it into my skin. Um, Afterwards, even when it did absorb into my skin, it still felt like sticky. So I didn't dare to use this body butter in the morning or like shower in the morning and use this body butter. So what kind of helped was mixing this with a body oil. Surprisingly, I felt like it helped me spread out the product a bit more. Yeah, it just several ways of how much I dislike this product. So would not repurchase that, wouldn't recommend it, don't want to see it ever again. All right, the next products, they're all from the same company. It's a small business and I am very, I guess, loyal to buying their deodorant creams. I recently placed an order and purchased something. I will do a short, but long story short, I got 3 more of my favorite scent. So I finished up 1 full size and 2 of the free samples that my sister and I shared. So Little Seed Farm, they also have like goat's milk, other skincare and body care products, but I mainly just really like their deodorant creams. I've been aluminum and baking soda free for about 5 years or so. So you are still going to sweat when you use their deodorant creams, but it's just not really going to smell. You're just going to be a little bit damp. So what I do is I just like blot my underarms and reapply if I need to, but I'm not really sweating that much. So my all-time favorite scent is grapefruit lemon. I love that it comes in a glass container, metal lid, recyclable, low waste, eco-friendly. This one just smells like a really nice lemon. The grapefruit, normally I really dislike grapefruit fragrances because they can come across to my nose too tart, but this one just smells like very, I guess, bright, not tart in the way that it's like mouth puckering and sour, but it's just got like a little tang to it and it is a little bit sweet. So really like that scent. The 2 samples that my sister and I tried, orange vetiver and vanilla honey, these are seasonal scents. So my sister was the one who picked up orange vetiver. This one just smells like a very, like kind of like a faint orange scent mixed in with a bit of wood. It reminds me a little bit of being in, let's say, an orange orchard and you're by the tree, you get the orange and it's like that, not necessarily like you're opening up like a jar or a bottle of concentrated orange juice. It's not really that, but I feel like we both like our grapefruit lemon the most. So this vanilla honey was pretty disappointing because I do really enjoy the honey note that's in here. It doesn't lean cat urine to me. It's well done. However, the vanilla, which I think is the problem, leans a little bit like Play-Doh or like clay that is drying a bit. It's really kind of messing up the honey note. If it was just honey, I would for sure repurchase this in a full size, but the mixture together, don't really like it. So unfortunately, that's not for me. But I mean, regardless, I'm still going to always purchase the grapefruit lemon. I believe that this is good 12 months after opening. This is an item or a product that I got from Influencer. It came in a trio set. However, I only finished up the hair serum, and I think that my sister was the one who mainly finished this up. And that is this Pantene Abundantly Strong Serum. This is daily scalp and root serum. So oddly enough, I thought this was going to make my hair, especially my scalp area, feel greasy, but it has alcohol in the formula, which I know a lot of people are like, oh no, I gotta stay away from alcohol. But I think that really helps the product absorb into your skin. And I really liked putting this in my hairline. Yeah, in my hairline, because I have a tendency to really shed, and I felt like that helped diminish the amount of hairs that I was getting, because I don't know, it's maybe how I brush my hair or something, but I tend to shed a lot the day that I shower and like the 2 days afterwards. And my sister, she had a dry patch on the back of her ears, and she felt like that really helped that sensation of like you feel dry or you feel a little bit itchy. It wasn't necessarily flaking, but it was just uncomfortable. So this one has an ingredient. It doesn't really help with hair growth. We didn't notice any significant or noticeable hair growth, but I feel like it just helps the health of your scalp so that you don't really encounter these issues of like flakes or your hair breaks or whatever. So I believe that my sister said that Neutrogena has a competing product that she would like to try out. And I think that one does have an ingredient, I don't know what it is, that helps regrow hair, versus this one doesn't have that one particular ingredient. So really like this one. I haven't repurchased it, but my sister did already purchase one when we finished up this one. So it is repurchase worthy. I don't know when I will repurchase it because I have a lot of other hair care products, much like with candles and body care, that I need to finish up. But yeah, this one, solid product. And I believe it only costs $19 or $20 at Walmart. Okay, the next appears to be just home fragrance. So let me go on to read diffusers first. Okay, so this one took forever to finish up, and I forgot the name of the company, but I got this at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, or Home Goods. All right, so here is how the reed diffuser looks like. So it has a decorative feather, this like little accent piece, and the reeds. So what I do is that I always reuse the glass container, because normally it's a glass container if I feel like I can put a flower in there, or I use it to propagate a plant. I don't have it currently with me, but in an old reed diffuser glass vase, I have some rosemary cuttings that already have roots that I need to transplant soon because I don't want it to get root bound in there in the water. So anyways, this one was, I think it was like an okay scent. I remember it being vaguely fresh, but the main reason why I liked it is because of this little accent piece. So it looked very cute in the bathroom, but as far as like strength of the scent and how long it lasted, this thing took forever to finish, but it wasn't strong and it didn't really like throw the scent that well. I don't know how to talk about this, that I don't use candle terminology, but yeah, this one was okay, and I like that I'm going to reuse the vessel. One that I found, I believe, during the yellow tag sale that happens at TJX stores is this one, Curated Makers Toasted Almond, made in England. This one smelled basically just like almond extract, kind of like amaretto a bit. This one finished up very quickly. I feel like it lasted about like 30 to 45 days versus the other one, even in my sister's room, which is a bit hotter. This lasted like months and months, almost a year. Granted, I kind of forgot to flip the reeds, but I also forgot to flip the reeds on this one. So this scent was pretty intense, only maybe half a day to a day after you flip the reeds. But then if you waited too long in between, the scent would pretty much diminish. In my medium-sized bedroom, it didn't fill up the whole space, but I feel like the little corner it was in, I could smell it, but it wasn't, outstanding fragrance in there or anything. It just smelled like a little bit like almond sweetness, but I could still have, let's say, a fresh candle burning or a floral candle burning, to give you some idea of how strong this was or isn't. But I mean, this one for $1, I'd purchase it again, but for like $5, I have to think about it. Anything more is a straight up no. All right, next, home fragrance category. These are candles, but technically I use them for my wax melt. So we're going to put them in this category. So here are all the tea lights that I used up. So I mainly used, I think I counted 7 of the 6-hour tea lights and 7 of the 3-hour tea lights. I think this is like 2 to 3 hours. I got this one at Walmart. It's whatever. This other one, I got it on Amazon, and I think the Amazon performs slightly better. And the reason why I used up so many tea lights is because I wanted to really finish up or make a dent in my Athame and Alchemy wax melt, I guess, inventory collection. So let me move this a little bit down. But with her wax, I find that tea lights give me the best performance. All right, first one we have here is Mallow Vanilla Cupcake. So she is very eco-friendly, so she puts these in wax papers. My biggest issue is that I can really smell whatever the wax paper is made out of. I feel like it carries its own scent, or if these wax pieces were next to other scents, I feel like the scent kind of permeates into the wax, so I don't get a true idea of what the wax is going to smell like until it melts. And I feel like because it's in this wax paper, it's prone to ripping because I'm clumsy. So I feel like it lets the scent escape. So going forward, if I do repurchase from Athame and Alchemy, I will need to either double bag these or use them during that season. All right, but this one, Mallow Vanilla Cupcake, Toasted Marshmallow Vanilla Cupcake. So this one, I wrote down that it smelled a lot like Marshmallow Fireside, but with no fireside. Both melted and not melted, I got the same scent, so it didn't really transform on warm. 4 pieces, I used them in my julienne hot plate on high, and 4, I used them with my Amazon tea light, and that one performed the best. And 2 of them, I used them with my small Walmart wax warmers, also tea light. So this one, I I melted it for about 10 hours and I could still smell it, but it was basically the most intense that first 6-hour mark. So this didn't last days and days because, I mean, yeah, I could burn it for a little bit more, but since it's a tea light wax warmer, I feel like it's really intense for a short period of time. So there's that one. This one, I don't think I would repurchase it. All right, next we have one Dojo Donuts and Coffee. Creamy coffee, strawberry lavender fritters enjoyed during a lovely sunrise in Naples, Florida. So Athame and Alchemy used to be a Florida-based wax company, but I believe that the owner moved to one of the Carolinas. I keep forgetting if it's South Carolina or North Carolina. But anyways, this one I got a strong black coffee scent. Then I got the strawberry jam almost type of a scent. So it was very like jammy, jelly-like, sweet, but nice, not too like strawberry chapstick, that type of a scent. So this one, I used it in my julienne hot plate on high. And then the rest of them, I put them in tea lights just so I'm not repeating the same thing because basically I did the same MO for all of these. So this one lasted for about a day. And I think that the note that stayed or lingered towards the end was that strong coffee note. The strawberry note kind of went away. And I don't think I ever really got that lavender fritter note. So maybe I would have gotten it had I warmed this or melted this sooner, but I did enjoy it. I would like to see how that performs when it's like fresh. Next one, Goodnight Moon Light Sleepy Time Blend of lavender, oats, almonds, and warm cup of milk. So for this one, I wrote that it wasn't too lactonic. I get this slight Bodycare almond note. Not really like cherry, but more of a true almond milk type of a scent. But it did smell a bit cold on cold, if that makes sense. Think like cold body butter that you maybe put in the fridge or something. So I wrote that I put this in my hot plate on high and my tea lights. And unfortunately, this one was light and it lasted 4 hours. So this one, I would not repurchase it. And instead of using another tea light, I just ended up switching it out for another scent. Next, we have, I believe, one from her winter collection for last year. Mulberry wine, rosemary, green floral, eucalyptus, pine, and storm clouds. So this one, I wrote that the main notes that I got were the mulberry wine and a fresh scent. Not eucalyptus, sinus clearing, still medium strong. I did the same MO, but instead of putting my Julienne wax warmer on high, I think I put it on medium. And I wrote that this was strong with just one. All three, it was a bit strong, so it wasn't really needed. This one lasted about 6 hours or so. So while this one performed pretty well, I would not repurchase it just because I feel like wine scents I'm a little bit picky with, and I don't know if mulberry wine is like the one for me. All right, moving on to an old format that she used to use instead. I believe that the one that she still does is this type of a format. But anyways, Vaca Sana, I believe. This one, the fragrance notes are Palo Santo, lemon blossom, cashmere butter, toffee, buttercream, fluffy vanilla cake, and cedarwood. So unfortunately, this one was a bit light and it smelled like the bag. So I feel like this was one of the fragrances that I should have warmed immediately, because whatever scent this was near, or maybe it's the bag, it kind of like permeated into the wax. So I put that I was able to detect a creamy Palo Santo, not a ton of the cedarwood, which I was happy about. So I used this again in tea light warmers and my hot plate. This one did last some time, but again, I was mainly just picking up this like almost herbal type of a scent. So herbs and a little bit of a creamy Palo Santo. So this one I wouldn't repurchase, I think, because I don't know if this is how the scent is, how it actually smells like. Last wax piece is Teddy Bear Picnic. This one has notes of sticky pecan waffles drizzled with butter and maple syrup, little lemon cakes with buttercream icing, and cold iced tea. So this one, I wrote that the main note that I got was the lemon and a salty note, surprisingly. That salty note was probably from the iced tea, and the smell of the bag with the wax got a bit permeated, and I got, again, that weird herb note. I did write that I found a hair in my wax, and I could tell it's from the owner because she has kind of like coppery red hair, which, I mean, didn't really bother me, but that was a fun surprise. So this one, I wrote that I put it in my tea light warmers and my hot plate, and it was a low medium. But again, I think I would have liked the scent had I warmed this sooner. So kind of, not disclaimer, but if you get wax, ideally try to warm it before it starts going bad, or not even going bad, before the scent changes and stuff. I mean, it could have even been how I stored it. Maybe I should have double bagged it or whatever. Okay, next we have some candles that I gifted to my aunt. So I wrote that I gifted her one key lime pie candle from that candle place. It was a 2-wick. I think she already burned this, and I think she either forgets or just doesn't really take notes, but she didn't tell me anything about this candle. Neither the other one that I'll get to in a little bit. And then I also gifted her a Homeworks limoncello cupcake. That is a 4-wick. She also didn't tell me anything about that one, but she's just mentioned that the smaller candles perform for her, which is code for Homeworks candles are a little bit light. But okay, let me go on to the candles that I finished up. Oh, actually, my sister ended up finishing 2. Okay, so these are both from a small business called That Candle Place. So unfortunately, both of these, no, the first one, I really enjoyed the scent, but I couldn't really get much out of it. My sister has a smaller room. The airflow is better in her room. So I ended up letting her have this, and this became her comfort scent. So she would kind of close the door and sit right next to the candle. So again, better chances of her smelling it. But even in her room and under those conditions, it was just a light fragrance in general that she enjoyed. Like, she enjoyed it so much that she would repurchase it knowing that it would still be light. And that is Summer Bakery. So I think, unfortunately, this one is no longer being sold. I need to make a mental note to keep these lids. Here is how the burn looks like. No real issues. I mean, it did soot a little bit, but it didn't discolor the wax too badly or anything. So this one, the notes at the bottom read sugar donuts, pound cake, whipped cream, strawberry crumble, lemon zest. Ooh, I forgot the first note, sweet buttery dough and maple syrup and sugar donuts. So I think that the note in here that I got that I really liked, I think was either the dough note or the sugared donuts note, which this one, I think I'm having flashbacks. I think when I smelled it, it reminded me a lot of this like glazed donut fragrance oil that I've encountered with other small wax vendors. So the strawberry note, I had to let it sit in order to detect it. But when my sister had this going, it mixed really well with her strawberry pound cake wallflower refill from Bath and Body Works, and I think she even had Neapolitan ice cream going in her candle crop. So yeah, this one, really good scent. Sad that it didn't perform for me, and too bad for my sister that they're not selling this anymore. But okay, next we have one that I gave to my sister because, long story short, I ended up getting 2 of these candles instead of 1. That is in the scent Carnival Sweet. So I believe this might, like the blue hue, might be from the heat, which is a little bit weird because my sister doesn't really put soy wax, like 100% soy wax or natural wax candles in Hurricanes. But I mean, it didn't perform, I mean, it didn't affect the burn or anything. Here is how it looks like, burned all the way down. Again, minimal soot right there. So this one, the fragrance notes are cotton candy, kettle corn, caramel drizzle, candy apple, sweet cream, and sea salt. So this one, the main note that I got, it was the candy apple fragrance. I wish there was more popcorn, but I feel like I have thought that same thought about several other popcorn scents that I've smelled. So for me personally, I would like that note to be a little bit more prominent, but I did get all the notes pretty much. At times, I felt like the sweet cream didn't really mesh well with the apple note, but I feel like the cream note kind of toned down a bit towards the end. The sea salt, I think it's not super apparent. It just kind of gives it a little bit more, I guess, texture to the scent, if I'm explaining myself correctly. So this one, she wouldn't repurchase it. The one that I have, thankfully, it smells slightly more of popcorn. These are made in small batches, so maybe they were made separately. But yeah, this one is a scent that my sister wouldn't repurchase. But I mean, she sang Summer Bakery its praises. Oh, she left me a little note, or I took notes on it. So this mainly smelled like apple, then cotton candy, cotton balled it. The wax, oh, so this wax did get a little bit murky, and she did experience low flames, and she would not repurchase it. So those are her notes. Well, I wrote it and then I just taped it onto the lid. Again, I need to keep the lid. Next, we have a candle empty from another small business, Spooky Soul Candle Co. You can find them on Etsy. This is in the scent Midnight Meltdown. The label is so pretty. I thought initially my sister was going to repurpose this jar, but one, you aren't able to see the flame. This is completely matte, and there's a slight little air bubble in here. So she decided, no, maybe if there's like another jar with another label, perhaps. But yeah, this one was in a banana split type scent. Yeah, banana split. And this one burned very, very slowly. And this one did experience some burn issues. So I know it does look a bit discolored and it's got some black swirls, but that mainly happened when it was like right around here. So the issue with this is I have a feeling that whatever banana oil is used is just light overall, because I think in my haul video someone mentioned that this other fragrance or candle in the scent La Befana was also light. I think maybe Rachel, who introduced me to this company, or who I learned about Spooky Soul Candle Co. first, I think she finished that one as well, and that one was a bit light. So this one I mainly just got a ripe banana plus chocolate note. It's not an overripe banana, but I felt like I could smell, or I could detect the candle a bit more because I was really tuned into that banana note. I didn't get much of like an ice cream feel when it was lit. It felt more like a warm banana split, like if something in the ice cream is piping hot, or maybe the banana has been heated a little bit in the microwave perhaps. But yeah, this one did experience some curling with the wicks as well. So some of the wicks off and on, maybe like a total of 5 times, I noticed that one of them were curled. And because the wicks, I don't know if it's noticeable, but the wicks were closest to the label, I felt like at times this took a little bit longer to reach an even wax pool. So yeah, this one was just okay, but the strength and throw were a bit on the low side. I was able to detect it, but yeah, generally like low. So this one I would not repurchase. Beautiful label though. Next candle that I finished from another small business. This is Vanilla Pound Cake from Swan Creek Candle Co. I have a dedicated review on this in case you're interested. This one is in their pantry style jar, and I definitely think this needed more wicks. And oddly enough, if you could see right here, this one did soot on me, and I was able to see visible soot, which is weird because I feel like out of all the candles that I've burned up until now, which have maybe been like 3, this is the one that really gave me issues. I burned this over the course of like, I think 2 years or so. So 1 year I did like about half. And then this year I finished it up. So yeah, this one I tried putting it in a Hurricane. I tried putting a little candle topper on it. I tried putting it in a smaller room, and this was just a very light scent. Like when I had the wax melts on, I was able to detect mainly that buttery note from the pound cake mixed in with this subtle sweetness. At time it did lean popcorn-esque, but in the candle form, I think I liked the scent better, but I just didn't really get performance. So I do like that you are able to repurpose this, but yeah, for this much soot and for this to be like not giving me much, it was a bit disappointing. So here's how it looks like. Thankfully, the wax looks pretty clean still for the most part, not super discolored, just all this. So yeah, this is one that I would not repurchase. I think one of my goals for, I guess, the rest of this year and potentially 2027 will be to stay away from single wick candles. All right, so unfortunately, the worst candle for June and potentially 2026 would be one from a small business. This is Main Street Confections from circa 1955. And you can even tell that the label's crooked. Did I write any notes? Yes, I did. Okay, so the fragrance notes are vanilla, puffed rice treats, mid buttered popcorn, base spun sugar, light berries. And you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I thought that you didn't really have that great of experience with this company in terms of like performance and strength and burn quality. And I'd probably say, yeah, but this had popcorn, and I think I had somehow a $10 coupon. So instead of paying $39.95, I ended up paying $29.95. Which, looking back at it, I should have just ordered this in the small wax melt. Anyways, hindsight being 2020. So you're probably wondering, like, what was wrong with the candle? Everything was wrong with the candle. I think I could write a 3-page single-spaced essay of how much this disappointed me. All right, but to talk about the scent itself, so I ended up putting this in my candle crock. The scent itself, I didn't get much popcorn at all. I mainly got those lollipops that you would see at Six Flags or Disneyland. They're white and they have like different color stripes on there. So I mainly got the sweet spun sugar with the light berries. Unfortunately, like the puff treats weren't really doing it for me. The popcorn wasn't really there. And from the first burn, you can't see it now, but I got those black swirls from the wicks just like shedding all over the place. I don't know what was going on. And it started bubbling again. And I thought, oh no, this is not good. Oh, hopefully I'll be able to smell something. No, I got barely any scent, just some like subtle sweetness. Even if I was hovering over it, this was like Yankee style single wick tester type of strength that I was getting from this. And I thought, oh no, let me try this in my bathroom. It didn't work out. Long story short, I put this in my candle crock. I was also getting barely any scent, so I put it underneath my candle lamp. And I think at that point, there was no more fragrance to really put into the air. So I was just getting the smell of unscented wax. So unfortunately, this is not going to work for me. Lesson learned. So those were all my empties for the month of June. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.